Good morning, traders, and welcome to another trading week. Today is Monday, and as usual, we'll gather here every Monday by 7 a.m. to look at the chart, to study the chart, and to see if we can get possible setups. But the most important thing is getting to study together. So if you can hear me, please let me know in the comment section, and if my screen is up, please let me also know before we proceed. If you can hear me, let me know, and if you can see my screen, please let me also know. Can proceed. Okay, so I believe my screen is up and everything is okay, so can actually proceed. All right. So let's go. So we'll be starting with BTC this morning. We'll be starting with BTC. So let's look at BTC from the weekly time frame. Let's see what we'll have on BTC this morning. Okay, so here on BTC, we had a break here on the weekly level. At this point, we had a sweep, meaning liquidity was taken out. And we have the last break of structure at this point. From the weekly, this point, we had a sweep. So liquidity was also taken out. Alright, so this is our new major high at this point, where we have $126,000. This is our new major high, and this is the word protected high. Protected high because it hasn't been broken, and we have our weekly demand at this level. This is where we have our weekly demand level, and price has tapped into this demand level at this point. So what are we to expect? Since price has tapped into this weekly demand level, we will have to step down to the lower time frame to look at the price from a smaller time frame to get a better trading idea. So on the weekly, this is what we have. So let's step down to the daily time frame now. Okay, so looking at the chart from the daily, let's get to refine our zones and all of our confluences. Alright, so we have to refine this other block too. So if we refine this other block, this is what we have on the daily here. Let's put this chart together. Okay, so extending this other block to the right, we can see that price has already mitigated this level, taking out all of the liquidity we have at this point. Price has taken this liquidity. That was what our inducement, and price has taken that out, meaning on the daily, we are bullish. On the weekly, we are also what? We are also bullish. The fair value gap has already been filled and the other block has been filled. So let's look to the downside to see if we have any potential other block. So if this zone is broken, then we have to think of possibility to keep selling to the downside. But for now, this zone is still showing great momentum to the upside. So let's mark our internal structure from this level to this one, because that's the most recent price action we have to look at now. So looking at this price action, you can see this is the last push to the upside. So at this point, we had our break of structure to this point, internal break of structure at that level. Here we have a change of character to the downside. Followed by this break of structure. Have another break of structure at this level here. So after this, we can see the price to the downside, meaning we have this supply at this level on the daily. This is the last supply we have on the daily. So anything we are looking at, we should be looking for price to pull all the way to the upside. So we'll look at this range from this level to this low on the 4 hours. Let me put this to this side. So this level here, this is the major low we are working with. So let me change this to something else. Okay, so this is the low we are working with and this is the supply we are working with. So let's go to the 4 hours now. All right, so here on the 4 hours, if we look at the 4 hours price action from this level, first let's get to refine this other block properly. Let me just mark this as a high for now. Okay, so we have a break of structure there. We have another break of structure. We have another break. We have another break here. Followed by this last break we have to the downside. So let's get to look at this price action to this level. Yeah. So at this level here, we have a change of character. We have a change of character there. We have a break of structure, followed by another break of structure to the upside. At this point, we had a change of character to the downside. Price took out this liquidity below this point and we can see the reversal to the upside. At this point, we have a change of character. So from this structure, on BTC, having this last change of character, and we have this descending liquidity to the downside. This tells us that we should be looking for possibility to take out this liquidity. At least we should be able to clear all of these zones till this level. We have this major target, this liquidity point. Before any reversal, if there should be any reversal, price should give us this sort of confirmation, maybe sweeping this high, before reversing to the downside, or price trading and filling this level we had from the daily zone, the daily level. So what is our next point of interest here? We have this 4 hours order block. As you can see, this is the last candle that actually swept the liquidity. So we have this zone on the 4 hours that we want to see price come back into. Price has already given us this engineered liquidity at this level here. We have this engineered liquidity at that point. Fair value gap, I think some part has already been filled. Yeah, so this is 4 hours. So whatever we are doing in the 4 hours, we have to take a trade at this level, and possible target first should be at this high. This is our first target. So here is our first TP. So let's step down to 1 hour to actually break this chart down to a more refined beta zone or beta entry. So let's look at this zone first. If I'm to refine this zone, this is what I have. So this is the level. Okay, this is the other block here. And if you look closely, there's something I'm seeing here. If you look closely, there is this other block here. But it's better we work with the extreme. Other block. There is another block at this level that led to this expansion, but because we have a fair value gap below this point, that's why I want us to go with this extreme order block, because I'm seeing all of these lows as liquidity for price to come back into this zone. So this is the level we'll be expecting price to come back into. So if we are working with this zone, we'll be working with 2 types of entry. The first one will be the aggressive one, and the second one will be with confirmation entry. So for those that want to go in with the aggressive entry, we have our buy here. This is where we have our buy limit order, and our stop loss. This is our stop loss, and our first target will be minimum of 1:3. 1:3. So if you have to go with 1:3, this is 1:3 here. So if you want to get the entry, this is the detail. Here's my entry, and you can see the stop loss value and the take profit value. So this is what we have on BTC. This morning we are looking for potential buy. I'm not seeing this sell here as a valid sell. Instead, I'm seeing this as what just a liquidity trap. But if price should react from this level, because we have a supply at this level, if price should react from this level, then this. But I'm more interested in the buy than the sell, following that the trend is bullish. So I'll want to go in with the buy than trying to catch a sell, because if you look at this is just an inducement level to actually validate the upper zone. So we are bullish, and when you're bullish, we always have to work with the trend. The trend is our friend, so always do well to trade in direction with the trend. Never you try to be smart, because trying to catch this sell now might end up taking a stop loss. So let's try to be safe. So this is what we have on BTC. I believe BTC chart is clear. Let me know in the comment section if this chart is cleared and well detailed. I believe the chart is cleared, so we can move to gold. Okay, let's look at gold this morning. Let's look at gold. So looking at gold from the weekly time frame, okay, so this is what we have on the weekly time frame here. And from the weekly, we can see that we are still bullish. We are still bullish all the way from August till now. We've been bullish on gold. So let's just go down to the daily. So from the daily level, let's get to mark the recent price action. Okay, so here we had a break to the upside. We have another break of structure here. We have another break. Okay, so from the daily level, this is what we have. So from this daily, this was the structure, and this was the other block from the daily. Now price has mitigated this level, and price mitigating this level, this tells us that what the buyers are still what in control. They're still interested in this commodity, and we have this supply at the top here. We have this supply on the daily. So let's get to mark our demand and our supply. So on the daily, this is what we have. And I think from the daily, that's why this price is reacting to that level. But let's step down to the 4 hours. Let's get to refine our zones properly. Okay. So here on the 4 hours, let's refine this. So this is what we have as the 4 hours supply. So let's get to look at the internal price action all the way to this point. So at this level, we had a change of character. We had a sweep. Followed by an external break of structure at this level. Price came back to mitigate this point. After we had our mitigation, price gave us a change of character at this point, followed by a break of structure. I believe we all understood why we're having a change of character here, because if you get to mark here, we have a break of structure. We have this break of structure at this level, and price gave us a change of character at this low, followed by another break of structure. So this reversal here caused this change of character. At that point, we have this obvious break of structure here. After having that break of structure, this is the supply. This wasn't a valid supply, because for this to actually be a valid supply, that's why you need to understand your external and internal structure. Because if you don't get to understand your internal external structure, you will not know when there is a perfect reversal. So a lot of persons are actually seeing this as a supply. No, this cannot be a supply, because for this to be a supply, this low that caused this entire move has to be taken out. You have to note that. So this was just a low given to you as a liquidity, or should I say a market trap. So that's why we didn't actually look at for sales. So throughout our live sections, we didn't call out any sell on gold. So at this point here, we have this high and we have this low. Price has given us a new high at this point, but this has not taken at this previous high. So where is the low we are working with at this point? This is the low. If you recall, as of last week, we had a zone here. I think, let me go down to the 1 hour. We called that a buy on gold during the last week live section, and we gave possible buyers. We were expecting gold to come back into this level and a buy to the upside, and we had this second level at this point. And from what we have on the chart, we can see that this level has been mitigated. Price has already mitigated this level. This was what we were looking at for last week live section. So price has already mitigated this level, and we were expecting this high to be taken out. We were expecting this high to be taken out, but price didn't take out that high. What was the reason? When I always talk about setting here take profit, I always say, if you want to place a take profit, always place it before liquidity point. And I have a reason, because imagine you were trying to target this extreme high. Meanwhile, I was trying to target maybe this point. I should have gotten out of this trade before this reversal occurs. One thing is knowing how to mark your chart and knowing where to place your stop loss and knowing where to place your take profit. It's not just about you coming to know how to analyze the chart. You can know how to analyze the chart, but if you don't know where to place your valid stop loss and where to place a valid take profit, you'll still be having issues in the market. So at this point, this price has already tapped into this minus supply, and you can see reaction to the downside. Now let's look at what are we expecting this week. What are we expecting for this week? So as we earlier explained, first let's look at the unmitigated order block we still have at this level. This order block is still something to take into account. Now why are we taking this into account? We have this liquidity, all of this. Let me just drop this line here for now so it doesn't become bulky. So at this point, we have this liquidity and we have this demand level still standing, still unmitigated. So let's get a look at this internal price action to know if we should be looking at for sales or looking at for buy for this week. So on the 1 hour on gold, we had a change of character here. this was where we had a change of character, because if you look at the internal price action, this was the last break of structure. This was the last break of structure here at this point, and you can see price tapped into this level and you had this reaction to the upside. At this point we had this break of structure. We have this break of structure, and having that break of structure, what can we see? We see there was a level here. There was this level. We had that level, and our price has already mitigated this level, and what we have to see now is if this level will be able to push price to the upside. But if this level fails to give us a continuation to the upside, we already know that what this level has been mitigated, this level has been mitigated. So whatever we have here is what? Liquidity. Whatever we have here is liquidity. So what the major points we want to see now is we want to see this movement, because price has already broken below this point. If you look at it clearly, price has already broken below this level. Price has already broken below this level, but we don't need to look at for sales since you know that we are in an uptrend. So what we have to do is wait for this price to either give us a second break below this point. If price gives us a second break below this level, below this point, then we will look out for that reason to sell. Now this is what we will now have. We will have this. If this price breaks here, we will have this as our liquidity, fair value gap. Then here will be our supply for us to continue the price to the downside. But for now we are still bullish. So I want to see this price being able to break this point. Let's be able to see. So whatever price gives to us, I will do it to share on the Telegram and the WhatsApp group. If you've not joined any of the channel, please check the description of this video to join the Telegram. I believe the Telegram channel is always pinned in the description of all the videos. So do it to join the Telegram channel. So this is what we have on gold. There is no bias. If maybe before this live section we met this other block, probably would have taken this buy to continue to the upside. Let me see if we can get a confirmation entry. Let's see if we can get a confirmation entry. I still can't give any confirmation entry because price has not broken above this point. For me to look out for any buy, I want to see this valid external high taken out at this point, giving me a valid change of character. So for now this is what we want to see. This is what we want to see, this level here being taken out. If this high is not taken out, then know that gold is continuing to the downside. So this is what we have on gold. We don't have any entry yet, so all fingers crossed. Let's see what happens at this level and what happens at this level here. All right, let's look at US oil. You can do it to drop your own chart in the comment section, and we'll do it to look at them if we have time. Okay, so this is US oil. This is US oil on the daily level, and from the daily level here we can see price. This price is currently at a demand level at this point, and the next point again we have this demand level. But from this daily, the person saying BTC, we've already analyzed BTC. USD JPY, definitely we are going to look at USD JPY. Okay, so if you look at this price is currently reacting to this mini supply on the daily level here, and that's why you're seeing this reaction to the downside, but there is something I'm actually anticipating for US oil. I want to see this price at least take out all of this liquidity here, take out all of this liquidity here. You know, from 2 weeks, previous, I think last 2 weeks live this thing, I actually called that a buy, but we actually had a stop loss on that trade because of the refinement, but the trade is still going in our direction. So this is what I want to see. Price has already tapped into this level. So if we go down to the 4 hours, I want to see this price push all the way to this point, because what I'm seeing here is liquidity, and I have this fair value gap still sitting at this point. I have this fair value gap still sitting at this point that I want to see price. So if this fair value gap is valid, then this serves as what? An inducement level, in as much as price respected it, but I want to see price break above this. So this is what I want to see. This high taken out by liquidity at this point. So now let's step down to the 4 hours. So look for continuation entry to the upside. Okay, so first let's get to refine the order block properly. So if we are to go with refinement, this is what we have as the order block here. At that point, we can see price has already mitigated this level. So price has mitigated this level, and this was the level we were looking at for our buy. That's I think last 2 weeks. This was the buy, but on 1 hour, and price slipped below this low, hitting our SL before reversing to the upside. So you can actually see that sometimes you can actually understand the directional bias, know where the market is heading to, but where to position your stop loss can actually be a problem, and that's what I just explained back then. So on the 4 hours here, let's look at let's just go down to the 1 hour, 2 hours. So this is what we have on the 1 hour here. So on the 1 hour, price dropped into this level, and this pushed to the upside. We had a change of character at this point. We had this change of character at this level, and from our analysis, we were looking to trade from this order block, and our stop loss was just below this point. Price trashed us out, and we can see the reversal to the upside, but nevertheless, this is what we have: a break of structure. Sorry, we have a change of character because price took out this point, giving us a change of character to the downside. So what we have up there is change of character. We have a change of character here at this low, at this high, sorry. After having this change of character, followed by a break of structure to the upside, we have this as a sweep. So no valid break of structure there. So this is where we have the valid break of structure. Having this valid break of structure, we have this order block sitting here. We have this valid order block sitting here. So if, and we already have this liquidity created, here. So we'll be expecting this price to come back here and continue to the upside. So this is what we'll have. A stop loss at this point. if we are to target this immediate high, this is 2.7, but let's make this 1:3. So this is what we have, and we have this supply. Let me get to see. We have this supply here. I want to make sure that, okay, so if we have our supply at this point, we have this supply here, and that's why we are looking for sales. As of last week, we were expecting this price to move all the way to this point to give us a sell to the downside, but price never did. So since we have this price at this point, if this price drops to this level, then let's take this buy to this supply here. Let's check what we have on 2 hours. Okay, so from the 2 hours, you can still see that this supply is valid. So if you want to refine to 2 hours, this is what I have on 2 hours. This is what we have on 2 hours, this price. But we have to be very, very careful with this supply, since this price is coming from a strong demand. And on daily, we've seen that we have liquidity to be taken out. Okay, so you can see the 4 hours order block. It presented itself neatly. You can see at this level our liquidity and everything. So this supply is something to still put into consideration on our chart. So from the 1 hour, this is the last break of structure, and we have this buy order to take price to this supply. So the 1:3 is valid, and when price gets to this zone, if we have a confirmation, we are taking a sell. And if you have to take a sell, we might be looking at to take out all of this liquidity at this point. And if this price should break above, because I always like stating the consequences, if this price gets to break above this point, you see I've already marked here as my liquidity. See, you have this high to this point as your descending liquidity. That's what you have here. So if this price breaks above here, just know that this price is heading to this point. So once there's a break here, all we need to look out for is more buy continuation. So for now, this is what we have. I think this is the only limit order that looks a little bit closer. Gold is still far from our point of interest. BTC is still far, but I believe that just one candlestick on BTC can actually take the price down to that point. So this is what we have here. We have our liquidity, we have the momentum, order block, fair value gap. Everything is valid for this setup to actually play out. So let's get to see this. This is the only trade we have now. I will do where to send this on the Telegram channel. So let's look at NAS 100 or look at the JPY pairs. Okay, so let's just go to 4 hours on NAS 100, because I think we did analyze this last week during the live section. So this was NAS 100. Let me just do a recap. So we had this break of structure on 4 hours here, and we have this change of character. This is the external change of character. This low was taken out, and let's see if there was any other block that is tapped into. It was just liquidity that was taken out, and we see price pulling to the upside. After we had this push to the upside, we had a change of character at this level, and we had this double top, which I called my liquidity at this point. This was the liquidity. Then we have this supply zone on the 4 hours properly marked, and we can also see that we have a fair value gap. At this point, which tells us that price should push all the way into this zone, just like what we anticipated last week. Let's step down to the 1 hour. So as of last week, we had this level we are looking at for price to actually come back into. The price came very close to our level. Sorry, let me get to see this zone. Okay, so price came very close to our point of interest, and you can see a push to the upside. Price in tag our level. This was intact, and we had this expansion to the upside, on continuation to the upside at this point, giving us what? A break of structure. We have this valid break. After having that valid break, this other block here was presented within the week. This other block was presented within the week for us, and you can see this price tapped into this level and expansion to the upside. So let's look at what are we expecting from this pair now, because that is what we have to answer. So at this point, we have this break of structure. We have this break of structure, and if you have to look at this break of structure here, first we had this push to the upside. Price swept this point. Where do we have the valid break of structure? This candle. This is where we have this break of structure. But one thing I want us to look closely at this point is, see, there was a fair value gap, and price has already what? Filled this point. Price has already filled this other block. Price has already filled this other block here. So, and we can't actually say we want to look for any potential buy, because for us to look for potential buy, we want to see a break of structure at this point, a break. But for now, this other block has already been mitigated, and we don't trade the other block 2 times. We don't trade it 2 times. So at this point, I still feel this level is still something to look out for, because price can still decide to use this level. So it's something to still look out for. That other block that was drawn there, this one, is something to still look out for, because this is still in control, in as much as price has already mitigated it. But it's something to still look out for. Meanwhile, the supply here still holds. Let me zoom this in. I think I didn't refine this supply to 1 hour. Let's get to refine this supply zone. Let's get to check on the 1 hour. Okay, so if we want to refine this to the 1 hour here, this is what we have. So this is what we have on the 1 hour. So I want to see price take out all of this liquidity still presented at this level here. Because if you look closely, let me zoom this in better so we get to see. Because every little details gets to matter in our chart analysis. So if you look at this closely, there's a fair value gap there. There's a fair value gap sitting there. So we need to look out for potential buys. All we'll be looking at for is buys to the upside. But as of now, we don't have any confirmation. So if for the person that actually asks for the NAS 100, or whoever trades NAS 100, if you want to take a trade on NAS 100, please do it to look out for a potential confirmation entry for you to actually look out for this buy to the upside. But we are bullish. Just like what we've been anticipating from this level, and we anticipated from this level, but price never came back into. But from this one, I think I can recall very well. This was the last analysis from last week live section, and that's one thing. You joining us for this live section, you get to actually benefit, because we get to give you our own bias, and I get to put you through your chart to make you see some hidden stuff you aren't seeing on your chart. So this is what we have on the NAS 100. Okay, let's get to look at USD JPY and GBP JPY. Let's see if we can quickly touch EU and maybe any of the other pairs. Okay, so I might not. Okay, let me see if I can just go to the daily, because these trades are shared on the group. So I believe no much explanation here. Okay, so on GBP JPY, sorry, on USD JPY, sorry. So on USD JPY, we have this supply, and when you have an internal supply, what does it mean? An inducement level. We have this major supply sitting at this point. We have this major supply here. We have this major supply at this point. Okay, so we have this major supply at this point, and if we go down to the 4 hours, go down to the 4 hours, I think, let me just get to, and let me do something here. Okay, so if you go down to the 4 hours here on USD I'm seeing this level. I'm seeing this 4 hours. I'm seeing this 4 hours level, and price has already tapped into the 4 hours. Okay, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to show you the BTC chart. So I'm seeing this 4 hours level, and we can see price has tapped into this 4 hours level, but let's go to our entry time frame on 1 hour. So let's get to refine this zone to 1 hour. Let me see. So if I should refine this to my 1 hour level, so this is what we have on the 1 hour. Now, if you look at this 1 hour, we have this fair value gap at this point. So on 1 hour, I want to see price drop till this point, and that's why the seller actually took on USD as of last week. I was expecting the price to drop to, I think, somewhere here, but this price dropped very close to my take profit, and let me go to that chart. You can see what the price did. See, this is look at my take profit here. Price came very close to this level, and this was the second entry we were looking at for on USD I think as of Wednesday or Tuesday, I can't remember, and price came very close to this point without mitigating this point, and I had to drop on the group that we should delete this order, and you can see price has come back. Is it on Friday? I'll be late night Friday to tap into this point. Let's see if this point gets to put this price to the downside. This is the first sell we took, and if you're on this trade, please, move your stop loss. Okay, I'm going to drop the coordinate on the group, but I'm still expecting this to still roll down. But if this turns to be a break-even trade, no problem. But I wasn't active to actually, if I've seen this trade at this point, maybe I'll probably close at this point or something. But nevertheless, I'm still holding this trade, and I've been holding this trade for, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like 3 days, or I think holding plus weekend should make it like 5 to 6 days now. But I'm still holding regardless. I'm still holding. So for now, this is the last supply I have on USD and if this price is able to hold, then we should see price roll to the downside. But if this supply is being violated, then this is what we'll have. This is what we'll have. Let me put it on 4 hours so you get to see what we'll have. So if that level is violated on the 1 hour, I'm going to mark it on the 1 hour. This is what we have. All of this, your liquidity. Like if this 4 hours level is able to push this price and it breaks above this 1 hour supply we are having, above this 1 hour supply here, if it breaks above this point, if price breaks above this high, then just know that USD has expanded like massive pump to the upside. If price breaks above this point, then we don't have any, we have nothing to hold price back, because all of the supplies we have to the downside has been mitigated. There is no fair value gap, and whatever we have here is liquidity to the downside. So if this price from the 4 hours, we can see that price has already tapped into this level. price swept this low, and at this point we already have this change of character. So if this price is valid, that this is a valid change of character, this is what I want to see, whether this price should drop to this 1 hour. But if this price wants to work with the 4 hours zone, what we have here, this is what I want to see. Either price coming to this point, and when price comes to this point, I'm not taking this price yet because it hasn't mitigated my 1 hour level. I like my price mitigating my 1 hour zone. So this is what I want to see. If this price is ready to go to the upside, I want to see this price come to this level, tap here, give me a valid break above this point. Then after having this break, I want to, when it comes back the second time, that's when I want to join the trend. My facts are well stated. So this is what I want to see. I don't want to go with this change of character because this other block here is still left unfilled on the 1 hour, and I want to see price drop to this point. But if price refuse to, or price move without coming to tap here, so if this price gets to this zone, I want to see a break above this high here, giving me what? A valid, that's what I will consider as my change of character, and this break here as my break of structure. Then price returning back to this other block is when I will want to join the trend to take the buy. I don't want to say I want to swing, because sometimes swinging can actually deal with your emotion. So, but if we already know that price is to clear all of this liquidity, and not just clearing all the liquidity, if you go to the daily, and that's why we always do analysis from the daily time frame. If you go to the daily, we have this high to be taken out, because we have a major supply to the left hand side. We have this supply here, so this is like an inducement level for us. So we have this supply, we have that supply that we want to see price trade into. So come, if this level holds, then come 2026, from now to 2026, USD should be expanding to the upside to fill all of this gap. This is the level that will determine if we will continue being bullish on USD or we will sell to the downside. So this is what we have on USD. Let's quickly look at GBP and maybe possibly NZD or AUD. So GBP yeah, we might just look at from the 4 hours. So taking away all of this, all right. So here on USD 4 hours time frame, we have this last break of structure, and let me see if this was a valid break. Okay, so here was what we had. There was a liquidity sweep, and price still came back into this level that caused this break, and the price held. But as of last week, I was trying to look for a quick sell scalp based on the internal structure, but price didn't give me that. So on the 1 hour, this is what we have on the 1 hour here, a break. So on the 1 hour, we have a break of structure. So this is what we have on 1 hour chart. Yeah, we have this fair value gap, and price has already filled that, giving us a liquidity point. So look at this point here. So what am I expecting on GBP? I want to see this price drop to this point here. This is what I want to see. I want to see this price come back into this level, pulling this fair value gap and this point, this liquidity. So let this price be able to come back to this point for us to actually look at for a buy. And I think we've been looking at GBP, JPY, and USD, JPY for the longest. So if you also go to the daily, did we have anything on the left? Yes. So we can see we are at a major supply, and I think that's why we're having that reaction to the downside. But price has not given us any valid confirmation to sell. Price has not given us any valid confirmation to sell, and the only sell we took last week gave us a stop loss. I think we had 2 stop losses last week, and the only trade that would have given us recovered our 2 stop losses was USD JPY, but we didn't close that trade. So this is what we have. From the higher time frame and 1 hour, we are still bullish. Let's look at the USD card, where we had a stop loss on Friday. This was a clean trade, but nevertheless, price, I think there was a news, and price actually gave us a big L. Okay, so now we have this stop loss on USD card. Let's see what we have or what we should be expecting now. So if we go to the daily, because I think that's where the price is trying to head to. So if you go to the daily, we had this change of character, and this was the other block we were trying to see if price can hold on to, because this price actually swept liquidity at this point here below these lows, but price failed. So what are we to do at this point? This is what we want now. We want to see this price come back to this other block. This other block is something to take into consideration, but we'll also actually take this. We'll be taking this because this was where this major change of character came in from. But don't forget, we still have this other block. We have one at this level. But on the daily, this is what we have to look at for first. So let's get to go down to the 1 hour. Price is already approaching that zone. But I was trying to look at for a sell first. If price gives me that opportunity to sell. So let's look at what this zone looks like on 1 hour. Okay, so on the 1 hour, we have this large candle. Please, let's actually wait for confirmation on this, because I don't like trading bigger zones like this. When you have this type of zones, please, you have to be very, very careful. This is too big, and before you take into your SL consideration. So let's get to, if we get a confirmation on this, and the confirmation I'll be looking at for on this particular one, I want to see price go 50% into this, at least more than 50%. So let's get to, let me use my gun box. So this is what I want to see. At least price should go 50%. Price should go like 50% into this. Let me take this out. Price should go like 50% into this zone. If this price doesn't go 50% into this zone, then there's a question mark. If this price just comes here and gives you confirmation, I'm not in, please, because this zone is too large for price not to go down into it. Just like what I stated, I think last 2 weeks on USD JPY, when I was like, USD JPY has to go like 50% into that zone, and I believe we all saw the reaction on USD JPY that zone even failed. So when you have zones like this, you have to be very, very careful. So now, if you have to look out for a potential sell, if this price does not get to this zone and reverses to the upside, let's get to see what we have. So first, at this point, we have this break followed by this one. followed by this one. Let's do something this morning. Let's do something. Let's see if we are all active. Let's see if we are all active. This is the first zone, and we have this one here. Let me make this. Okay, let me change this color. Let me change this to red. So between these two zones, which one should we be looking for our sales from? This gave us this momentum to the downside, and we have this zone. So let me know in the comment section. Let me know those that have been active or those that have actually been looking at their charts, studying their charts. Which zone are we looking for at this point? Let's do this simple test this morning. We have this break here. This gave us a break of structure. Okay, everybody is saying we already have two rare zones, but this gave us this break of structure. This gave us a break of structure now. We have a break of structure here. We have this fair value gap. So the red zone. I think there is no point going on with the test again. Okay, so I think everybody is saying the red zone. Even people that maybe don't have an idea of why is the red zone. But okay, I think this is great. So it's the red zone. The red zone. That's a valid point. This is an inducement level. This is an inducement zone. So the red zone is valid. The red zone is valid. Okay, so this is what we want to see. But if this price gets to this zone and gives us a valid confirmation, like 50% of this zone, then this sell will not be valid. But I'm only putting this sell. I was only looking out for this sell on Friday after the price hit our stop loss. I think within this point, I was thinking this price will reverse to this point and give us. You learn very fast. The red zone, the blue would serve as an inducement. Yeah, I think I would have said people should state their reason, but people will still copy. uh, I didn't want to whine anybody. I didn't want to whine anybody. But it's true now. This zone actually caused the break of structure. So this should have been the zone. Okay, I think that's good. So I think we've already exceeded 1 hour. We've already exceeded 1 hour. I think somebody was asking for a BTC recap. Let me just do that so I can end the live section so that people that are going for morning lectures, people going to work, they can leave and continue their day. We are not in school, so let's allow it now. I know, and we are not in school, but we need to consider students that are traders that at least they do show up to support and also to know what we're expecting for the week. Okay, so for the person that asked for BTC, this is what we have on BTC. This is what the chart looks like on 4 hours. We are looking at for a buy. We want to see this price drop to this level and get a buy. So this entry is for the aggressive traders, and if you're waiting for confirmation, then we want to see price come back into this zone, give us a change of character, then we'll take a buy. So this is what we have on the 1 hour, and all of the trade that will analyze this morning will be sent to the group. All will be sent to the group. Then if you trade any of those pairs, you can go ahead to take them. And if maybe we didn't touch your own pair, because truth be told, today we didn't actually cover a whole lot of pairs. Just like previous weeks, we always try to cover like more than 5 to 8 pairs. But if we didn't get to cover your own pair, what I would advise you to do is, you've seen what we've done here, go to your own chart, try to follow all of the protocols, or let's say all of the principles we've used in analyzing all of these charts, to do same on your own chart. That is the way to learn. So first way is maybe from what we've done, you can go over to your own chart, look at the BTC chart, try to mark all of this and understand why we are marking all of these points. I think we're able to cover BTC, we covered gold, we cover USD, JPY, GBP, JPY. We also cover, I think, NAS 100 or US 30. Okay, NAS 100, if I'm not mistaken. And I think those are not the pairs we covered today. So you can still go to your own chart, look at what we did, and try to put some on this same chart. Then, okay, we also looked at USD card. Yes, USD card. So you can still go to a different chart, try to mark what you have, and also do it to see how it gets to play out. And if there is any issue or something you find difficult to manage or something, always do it to maybe leave a comment below any of the videos on this channel, and I'm going to reply to you. And if you feel like it's something you want to talk to me one-on-one, do it to always hit my WhatsApp number. I will do it to leave my WhatsApp number in the comment section now, so that if you have any issue, always do it to hit me up, and I'm always active to actually attend to you. So if you actually got value from this money life section and you've always been benefiting from this channel, please do it to give this live section a thumbs up. Very, very important. That's the only way you can actually do it to support and to help boost my morale, to always show up here, keep giving out values to the community. And if this is your first time actually joining us here, please do it to introduce yourself in the comment section. Let's give you a special shout out to at least for actually taking out your time to actually join us. And if this is your first time actually joining our morning live section, please do it to drop your name in the comment section. Let's also give you a special shout out to our previous subscribers, to our OGs. Those are always here to support this channel. Come rain, come sun. We are grateful and we do appreciate your effort, always showing up to stream our videos, join our morning live section, and supporting us in all ways. Thank you very much, and do it to always keep supporting us. And I promise to always keep showing up and keep giving out values on this channel, the best I can do to always support every trader out there having issues in their trading career. I'm always here to support and to give out the least I can. It might not be financial, but the knowledge I can to give out to every trader out there, I'm present and I'm active to always give you that. Be rest assured. So that's it. So I believe we don't have any newcomer. That means everybody on this live stream this morning, they are OGs. And do it to actually invite one or two for next week morning, Monday live section. At least let's help to grow this community. Let's help this community grow bigger. Clinton is now you're coming to say red. Which network are you using? Are you using 1G network? Because we are done with that for like over 10 to 20 minutes now, if I'm not mistaken. Victor Piam, you're not a newbie here. Yeah, you're like one of the old hands we have here, but still special shout out for always showing up. You're very, very active, and I want to actually commend your efforts. Thank you for always showing up. Thank you for always supporting, and thank you for always making the comment section very, very active, because each day you always show up here. You can't show up here without me noticing you, because you're always very, very active in the comment section, always trying to make sure that everywhere is very, very active, and the whole classes is very, very interactive and easygoing too. Thank you for always showing up, and to other of our subscribers that are always present, special thanks to you too, because without you this live stream won't actually be fun, and I can't come out to just teach just my monitor or my laptop or something. People have to be there for me to actually communicate with, to make this whole stuff meaningful. So thank you all for always supporting, and special thanks to me too for always finding out time to keep showing up despite my busy schedule too. So thank you, and do have a blessed week. Take care of yourself. Please stay safe out there due to the whole security stuff out there. Please, let's take our time and do well to take care of ourselves. Stay out, be safe, and avoid late night movement, please. Very, very important. Let's do it to stay out. Stay safe out there. Very, very important. This is a festive period, and I don't want to hear any bad news that maybe we lost any of our subscribers or something. So please take care of yourself and do it to take care of your family too. This is the end of today's live stream. So see you by Saturday when we'll drop our video, and Monday next week. Do well to come with one of your friends. Very, very important. I want to see newbies. I want to see first comers or first timer by Monday. Very, very important. So I think we're over like 33 that joined today. I want to see by next week we should be over like 66 on this live stream. At least one person should come with one person. If you can come with 10 persons, still very, very much welcome. So thank you very much, and bye for now.